think we're going to laugh at this one. Activision isn't worried about all the Battlefield 6 hype as it believes Call of Duty is too big to fail. Oh boy, I saw this and I was like, all right, we definitely need to talk about this one because this might be fun. Might also be very boring. Anyway, there's a level of, why are you confusing me? I didn't ask you to confuse me, chat. Why are you confusing me? I feel so scared. Anyway, moving on. Let's get into this. So, this is over on The Gamer. I know the Gamer is like, it's okay. It's not the greatest, but anyway. Joshua Robertson published 22 hours ago. When you think of massively popular first-person shooters, your mind most likely goes to Call of Duty. There was a time in which your mind may have gone to Battlefield, which was considered a true Call of Duty competitor. But after a few underwhelming titles and disappointing decisions, that's a fucking understatement. The game's multiplayer, the series isn't quite as popular as it once used to be. However, EA and DICE have an opportunity to change that as there's plenty of hype surrounding Battlefield 6 thanks to its triumphant return to its roots. Been watching some gameplay today. Watch the multiplayer. I'm actually going to check out the open beta probably after I get off stream tonight. See if I can't convince my wife to maybe jump in it with me. You have the game bringing back fans who skipped past entries, while earlier this week you almost had more players sitting in the preload menu for Battlefield 6 than were actually playing Battlefield 2042, because Battlefield 2042 was a travesty. I think this photo is hilarious. And I just, in my head, all I heard was, Call of Duty sucks. Shut up, butthead. Or I'm sorry, shut up, Beavis. Oh, God. It's an exciting time to be a Battlefield fan, and with Call of Duty's biggest competitor on the rise, once again, you have to wonder what the thoughts of Activision are. It's no secret that a large chunk of Call of Duty fans are sick of the game's strides away from realism, adding characters like Stan Smith from American Dad, you stupid bitch! As a recent example, and DICE itself poked fun by saying its cosmetics would be far more grounded. Yeah, they said they didn't need Nicki Minaj. However, according to a new report by Gaming Insider, the leadership teams over at Activision aren't particularly concerned about the hype surrounding Battlefield 6. In the report, Insider Gaming's anonymous sources have claimed that while Activision has been keeping a close eye on the game, there's a feeling at Activision that Call of Duty is too big to fail at the moment and will be profitable and annually released series for many years to come. They are probably not wrong about that. The habitual buyers of Call of Duty are absolutely insane. It definitely makes sense, as even the worst received Call of Duty games go on to sell millions upon millions, though you can't help but feel it is a little bit arrogant given how unhappy some sections of Call of Duty fans are. Hopefully Battlefield 6 can actually stick the landing and give Call of Duty some actual competition, and then maybe Activision will start tugging at its collar a little more. Wow, that was a very short article. So here's where I'm at when it comes to Call of Duty. Call of Duty is suffering from what a lot of people are calling Fortnitification. Now, the Fortnitification of Call of Duty is basically we're going to put in a whole bunch of skins that don't look like actual real combat. They don't look like a military simulator Call of Duty. My first Call of Duty was Call of Duty Finest Hour. My second Call of Duty was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. That's right. I skipped all of the Call of Duty stuff because Finest Hour didn't really impress me too much, and I was a Halo kid. I loved freaking Halo. I thought it was awesome. Wanted nothing to do with Call of Duty. The only reason I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 is because my buddies at the time were saying how absolutely fantastic it was. And I was like, all right, well, maybe I'll get it. And a buddy of mine brought up his Xbox, what was it, a 360 at the time? Yeah, it was a 360 that Call of Duty, no. Anyway, he brought up his Xbox, gave me the Xbox that we could play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 on. One of my buddies bought the game for me for my birthday, and they said, you need to play this with us because it's a fun game, and we want to play multiplayer with you. I didn't even know what ADS was because the last time I played a game with shooting mechanics was Halo 3. and it didn't have aim down sights. And again, I bowed out of games for a while. I will say this, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 was actually the game that got me back into gaming. It was very, very good when it released. They continued to make it worse as time went on. Funny how that works. But Call of Duty as a whole has not had a lot of competition in a lot of years. You don't have games like Medal of Honor anymore, for those of you who remember when that was out. I mean, Battlefield 6 might redeem itself, but it has a lot of bad will that it has to make up for. One of the things that Call of Duty has absolutely been trying to chase is they're trying to skirt the line between what Call of Duty is and what Fortnite is. And you can see that. That's why they're doing Warzone. That's why they're doing all this stuff. My wife and my daughter play Call of Duty together every single night. How are the community managers for Battlefield 6? What? How are the community managers for Battlefield? I don't understand what you're saying. Royce doesn't play Call of Duty for the articles. Royce doesn't play Call of Duty. I do not play Call of Duty for the articles. No, I do not. I can't even play it anymore. It's that game. It's so dumb. Like the multiplayer aspect of Call of Duty now, where you go into a match and it doesn't even feel tactical anymore. And it's so horrible. I fucking hate it. Rolando A. Ramirez, hello. I forgot to say that. But with Battlefield 6, looking at the multiplayer, watching some of the gameplay today, it's one of those things. It's like, could that scratch that itch of multiplayer that I've been looking for to play with the boys and like my wife and daughter? Because I cannot get into Call of Duty now. It's just not a good game. It's just not. It doesn't feel good. And especially when you start seeing like the Ninja Turtles run around a corner, you're like, what is this? What happened to my military shooter game? Are they doing their job in promoting, or are they playing? No, it seems like they're just doing their job in promoting, dude. I have not seen any sort of political BS around the... You know what? Let's do this. Let's go. Have you guys seen the Battlefield 6 trailer? Did you guys see that? Have you guys seen it yet? Battlefield 6 trailer. Have you seen it? I want a side scroller, Kelly. That would be funny. Have you seen the official multiplayer, like gameplay trailer? Did you guys see that? You guys want to see it? We're gonna watch it. I don't care if you want to see it or not, because I saw this and I was like, wait a minute, hold on here, hold on. Wait a minute, hold on. We're on to something. We're on to something here. Dude, this is absolutely wild. This is so wild, guys. And I was watching gameplay today. People playing open beta. They're doing an open beta to make sure that they fix everything too. Keep that in mind.
It's just one of those days.
It's so good. I was like, wait, really? Just with Limp Bizkit in the background? I was like,
Your best bet is to stay away, motherfucker.
I'm like, okay, all right. Andrew Knapp for $5. Thank you for the super chat. BF6 marketing is spot on. Gameplay looks right too. Hopefully they stick the landing. It's the right time for a company to return to form. Dude, and not only that, they're doing the beta testing to make sure, I think they're doing like server stress tests and all that kind of stuff to make sure that everything functions properly. And I've not seen stuff. Oh no, Jordan. Did you see drones? Are you saying, oh no? Or are you saying, oh no? Put a comma in there, sir. Where does your comma go in your sentence? Where does that comma go? I need to know. This looks wild, dude. I'm not even a Battlefield game. I've never played a Battlefield game in my life. And I saw this trailer and I went, all right, what is common? I don't know. I don't know what it's common. What's common with you? Yeah. Dude, this is so nuts. I will say this. The song choice for this was peak. Give me something to break. Perfect. They have landed this market. They have landed the marketing, dude. Absolutely wild. I've forgotten how to use them. Stop forgetting. Don't forget. Forgetting is an excuse. So the fact... Now, the question is here. Can Battlefield 6 cut into enough of the market share of Call of Duty to make Activision afraid? That's really what we're talking here. Now, that doesn't mean that they overtake it and they're the number one. What it means is, can they take 15% of the market share away from Call of Duty? Can they take 25% of the market share away? Because if they could take enough of it away, it would rattle the chains enough that Activision might stop and think, oh, wait. Maybe we should think about exactly how we're going to do this. That's the whole key here. Is Battlefield 6 going to dethrone Call of Duty? No, it's not. But if you can make a god bleed, you can prove that they're not a god. And that's what Call of Duty needs to be afraid of here.